welcome to the Countdown Show. My name is Olachi Anipwa. This week we have witnessed lots of elections in 3 different states of the country where we conducted gubernatorial elections. And today we were discussing the circumstances surrounding the elections. Our in-house political analyst will be giving us a breakdown on how the election went and what are the feelings of Nigerians towards this election. Also today we're going to be talking about the NLC strike and what issues surrounding the strike. Again, welcome, Mr. Austin Bitrus Sinum.
It's a pleasure as always.
Thank you for coming here. I don't even want to laugh really because election in Nigeria is becoming hard labor. You know, when a woman is pregnant, she goes through hard labor. But really, how did you see the turn of event on the just concluded gubernatorial elections in the 3 different states of the country?
Okay, the election that happened, they are off-cycle election, right? Normally, the 2023 general election, there were a lot of irregularities that was faulted in that election. Okay. And off-cycle elections are supposed to give the officials, the people who are involved in electioneering process, the opportunity to do better.
To correct their mistakes.
Their mistakes. 2022, there was an electoral act that was brought forth. And we saw Professor Mahmood gave us all the sweet words. Nigerians were so hopeful, that we're going to have some sort of a reputation of 1993 election, that was that free and fair election. But what did we get to see? If you ask me in one word, I will tell you the election that happened in those 3 states are shambles. It did not reflect the will of the people. Horiwa was there, Yaga Africa was there, and all the report we keep getting. We saw what happened in Kogi State. Yeah. We saw the killings. We saw the ballot snatching. We saw in many cases, even before Akri. In fact, a friend of mine called me this morning, shockingly. I was discussing with a friend about what the trajectory of Nigerian politics. All right, the kind of situation we find ourselves in this country. While we were on that call, it was another call interrupted, and a friend of mine who is an ardent supporter of APC, he called me. He was lamenting. He's from Kogi State. Wow. He said, "Austin, what is happening? What is happening in our country?" He said he has never seen an election like this. He gave an example of Okene, and of course, Okene is part of the areas that the opposition parties are calling for cancellation, where the number of accredited voters in Okene was about 80-something thousand or thereabout. Yeah. But APC got away with 130-something thousand, and you're asking how? How? In Imo, we saw it. We saw that of Bayelsa. We saw the killings. So, if you ask me, the election, something needs to be done. It is so sad that after all the talks we've been talking about election, we hope to see an improvement. But what we saw was, it's nothing to write.
A lot of people will question what you're saying because when a president like President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, election bringing him in was surrounded with a lot of toxicity. How would you think you expect a different ball game altogether from because it's the same thing.
Of course.
It's actually the same thing.
My dear, let me tell you, the truth is, Nigerians have come to the point where everybody is tired. I said I'm tired. If you look at the elections that happened in some of these states, there was voter apathy. People didn't really care. People did not care. It has been like, okay, this is the normal thing that has been happening. So what, I think it is very sad for INEC as an independent, and we keep calling for this over time, right? If INEC is an independent body, please, can they be independent for real? And I wonder, I'm imagining how INEC will be independent when it is the executive arm of government that selects the INEC chairman. So how independent can they be? Look at what Horiwa, Association of Human Rights Writers of Nigeria, something of that nature. Horiwa said they advise the opposition parties not to even bother going to court.
That's how
bad our judicial system has gotten to. Not to bother going to court because nothing will come out of it. Even though reading the comment made by Dr. Ruben Amati, there's a caveat to that because we keep hoping. The judiciary is supposed to be the hope of the common man, and we keep hoping that things will get better. But I think it is an assault to our judiciary that coming to a point, you saw what Muri talked about now, the SDP candidate. He said he knew there were a lot of irregularities in the Kogi election, but he's not going to bother himself going to the court. It's an insult.
It's an insult
to our judiciary.
Because if the executive was messing up, it's the judiciary that will hold them accountable. So if there's a place where the judiciary is not holding anybody, cannot be trusted to hold people accountable, where are we going as a nation?
How can the judiciary even do when it is the executive arm of government that appoints the CGN? It doesn't make sense. So I think INEC, I don't know what Professor Mahmood, I don't know what are his intentions. I don't know. You see, Kai, it's so sad. It's so sad. It's so sad. So I don't know what is the plan of Professor Mahmood. I don't know what kind of legacy he wants to leave. But I don't think he has gotten a good one within 2023 election. I mean, there was so much expectation on him. You know, Nigeria is the way Nigeria is going is as if the past government, you know, it keeps, some people come and say that maybe Buhari government is even better than this. I was seeing in the news this morning.
But that's not the way it was, because Buhari
government was supposed to be a progressive dimension.
Yeah.
But people keep reflecting on the past, wishing to go back to the past. What kind of a nation? I think our politicians, please. And you know, the funniest thing is that, you know, when I watch young people, you know, playing surgery and all of that, I keep wondering how long can we keep sitting and our politicians keep juicing us?
You know what they played in the presidential election was tribalism. They used tribalism to divide the nation and everything. But we thought it was going to end there. Going to the state government.
We saw it also. You know, we saw it. Oh. We saw in Kogi election. It was a plot between the is it Okun, I don't know how to call them, people, you know. Normally they decided to side because the fight was against, we saw that ethnicity divided in Kogi State. The fight was against the Igala nation. Okay, they said the Igala people have ruled, from what I read, have ruled for 16 years. Of course, they've ruled for 16 years. Now, let's back Ibra people
to be able to get
their own 16 years. So by the time Ibra people are done, they will give us also. But shouldn't be the case.
What happened to competence and who is qualified for the job? I think Nigeria, we are going so backward, especially in this political thing. You said something about chairman, the INEC chairman. Who is going to hold him accountable? He is going to work so free.
No, it's because the laws are not working. There are people who are above the law.
Like really, it's not supposed to be like that. He's supposed to be held accountable for this, but he's going to fly free. And the next election, somebody else, he might be appoint somebody else, and somebody else. You know, it's a terrible state we are in. Talking about terrible state we are in, the chairman of NLC was terribly beaten in Omo State recently, and recently there's been a threat to strike. Do you think the issue surrounding the strike is supposed to happen now? Do you think it's right for that strike to actually go on at this time?
I think first of all, it was, I think on October 1st or something thereabout, I can't remember, that Joe Ajaero, NLC president, Nigerian Labour Union president, was maltreated in Imo State because of the protests that Labour Union carried out there against the way workers have been treated in the state. All right. First of all, I'm calling whatever thing NLC, I mean, they are fighting for their right. So I condemn that maltreatment in the first place. He's a human. These are labor union. They are fighting for the workers. So kidnapping him or whatever thing, maltreating him, beating him up is an assault. It's an insult. It shouldn't be that. We shouldn't be seeing that in our democracy. If we say we're practicing democracy, then let's practice free democracy. Democracy, you have freedom of speech. And besides, some of the actions that are taken by the labor union, they're supposed to serve as check and balances to the government. You know, so why should they get angry in trying? So I condemn that in the first place. I learned that Hope Uzodinma, who has just been re-elected by the obstacle election, I learned that he has tendered an apology, but I don't know how apologetic he is, because if truly he's apologetic, they should meet the needs of workers in that state. I
truly apologize for the beating, but do you think Nigerians should be very sympathetic to this chairman, the NLC chairman, owing to the fact that there has been he has been threatening for strike to happen due to what is happening in Nigeria, the rise of fuel, everything, rise of cost of living. But every time he meets with the president, he comes back, and people are suggesting that he goes and money exchanges hands and he comes back. So because he has been threatening for strike and he hasn't done it for a very long while.
Okay, so first of all, I would say that it is not a bad thing to go on a strike. Of course, when things are not going well in the country, and as leaders of labor unions, they should embark on a strike. Like I made a statement earlier, some of these strikes are meant to bring the government back to track, to keep to their promises. Should Joe Ajaero be compensated? Should Nigerian economy dwindle or just go on a halt because he was beaten? I think there are better reasons to have gone on strike. I mean, the issue of fuel subsidy that started since May, the removal of fuel subsidy, it has been ongoing, and it has told so hard on Nigerians. Nigerians are suffering. You know, so the argument is that why did you not hold on to the strike that you wanted to go to? Then you're coming up to go on strike because you've been assaulted, you've been beaten up, and it's not right. We condemn that action. But going on strike, because I think there are tangible things to go on strike for. And what has been the effect? In Lagos, the strike, there was no compliance. In Abuja here, we just saw literally, there was no compliance. Already, the government, federal government under what's it called? Secretary of Federal Government have called the strike action a contemptuous one, because already the government has given an ex parte, an industrial court in Abuja has given an ex parte order restricting that action, the strike action. So, but is in defiance action, I mean, to what the court has given. But I think if you ask my opinion, I don't think that the maltreatment of Joe Ajaero should be the one. There are tangible reasons, there are other reasons why you should go for strike instead of, I mean, even Nigerians will not feel that you're on their side now. Do you understand? Where you're supposed to be on their side, look at the hike of things.
But what if he's actually doing it to actually show the Nigerian government or the Imo State government that you cannot treat a labor chairman badly? And
then you go treat that in Imo State, don't affect the whole Nigeria.
Imo State has not had light for weeks right now. So
then don't bring it out to the whole Nigeria. The point we're making here is, you see, and we keep going back to this. This is to show you that our leaders are selfish. At whatever level. I think I call this selfish, if you leave me, because there are other issues that you should have gone on strike for. You didn't go on strike. It is now that you've been maltreated, and then I learned ASU have joined them and all of that. I was supposed to be going back and forth with all of this. Why didn't you go on strike on fuel subsidy?
When you're talking about the court giving an injunction for them not to go to strike, who is the judiciary in this government to give that kind of order?
The federal government,
because the judiciary arm of government is showing us that they are incapable of holding.
No, what happened is that there was an application. The federal government, being an applicant, applied to the court, and an industrial court, all right, for an ex parte order, not an ex parte. You know what an ex parte order is, all right? So they got asking the NSU not to embark on NSU TUC, because it's a joint strike, not to embark on the strike because they called and so what the NSU is doing now is in defiance of the court order. Do you understand? And if I come, the federal government at its own right, giving reason that they don't really have any reason to go on the strike, even the previous strike that they were to have, you know, there was still an ex parte order restraining them not to go even on the fuel.
Why are they restraining them? Like, why are you going to restrain them when everything, you know? When President Bola came into the government, he said he was going to, the first subsidy was removed, but also he promised palliatives. Where are the palliatives? So why is it not enough reasons for the labor to actually go on strike?
Well, I don't know. Labor, when they are supposed to go on strike, they do not go on strike. So for me, I'm talking about this present strike.
Okay.
It's not enough. Even Nigerians will not support you. I have not gotten any palliative.
Yeah, me too.
So I think I don't know if there's any. If you have got, maybe you can give me a bit of it. But if you ask my opinion, seriously, I don't think it is enough reason the maltreatment of Joe Ajaero. I mean, it's becoming like a parochial, more of an egocentric kind of a thing, and not on a nationalistic view. Okay, because there are national issues that affected the whole Nigerians, and you didn't go on strike, and now you're going on strike. So it's people will see it as inconsequential.
Inconsequential, and that's where we come to an end on today's episode of the Countdown. And I wish the Nigerian government or the Nigerian economy becomes better to favor us and to favor the entire state. You understand? So let's just pray for Nigeria from now on. My name is Olachi Anyikwa, and I'll see you on another episode. Bye.